A pleasant evening and welcome to this week's first edition of Primetime News. I'm Michael Madimba. Many thanks to my colleagues for holding the fort last week. Tonight, we begin with Namibia-Botswana bilateral relations. Namibia and Botswana's foreign ministers on Sunday called for the speedy implementation of a 2020 bilateral agreement that will enable the respective citizens to use their national identity cards in cross-border travels. Xinhua News Agency has more on this report.
According to a joint statement, the ministers emphasized the importance of strengthening relations between the two neighboring countries. During the 28th session of the Botswana-Namibia Joint Permanent Commission on Defense and Security in February 2020, the two countries agreed to develop modalities and terms of reference for the use of national identity cards for cross-border travel between the two countries. According to the statement, the ministers expressed confidence that such a measure will promote the movement of persons, which is helpful for enhancing their cooperation on matters of mutual concern and common interests. Salima Shimwe-Feleni reporting for Nampa News.
Still on regional news. Embattled former South African President Jacob Zuma has been released from prison on medical parole, the country's Department of Correctional Services said on Sunday. Xinhua once more brings you this report.
Department of Correctional Services spokesperson Singabako Nxumalo said that medical parole placement for Mr. Zuma means that he will complete the remainder of the sentence in the system of community corrections, whereby he must comply with a specific set of conditions and he will be subjected to supervision until his sentence expires. Nxumalo added, medical parole can only be revoked if an offender does not comply with the placement conditions. He further said, though he did not disclose the conditions which Zuma has to comply with, Zuma's likelihood of reoffending is low. The former president has been serving a 15-month prison sentence since July at Estcourt Correctional Center for contempt of court. He recently received surgery for an undisclosed ailment. Nxumalo said inmates who are terminally ill and physically incapacitated or suffering from an illness that severely limits their daily activities or self-care can also be considered for medical parole. Nxumalo reiterated that placement on medical parole is an option available to all sentenced offenders provided they meet all the requirements. We appeal to all South Africans to afford Mr. Zuma dignity as he continues to receive medical treatment, he stressed. Salima Shimwe-Feleni reporting for Nampa News.
Shifting our attention to the northern part of the continent. Saadi Gaddafi, a son of Libya's late leader Muammar Gaddafi, was overthrown and killed in a 2011 uprising, has been freed from jail according to the interim government. Saadi, now aged 47, was known for his playboy lifestyle and briefly played as a professional footballer in Italy. AFP compiled this report.
Saadi Muammar Gaddafi has been freed from prison following a court ruling several years ago, a Justice Ministry source said late Sunday without saying whether he was still in the country. Saadi was handed over to his family in accordance with legal procedures, the Government of National Unity confirmed in a statement. He fled to Niger following the 2011 NATO-backed uprising but was extradited in Libya in 2014. A former professional footballer in Italy, Saadi was held in a Tripoli prison accused of crimes committed against protesters and of the 2005 killing of Libyan football coach Bashir al-Rayani. Saadi was the third son of the flamboyant colonel who took power after a bloodless coup in 1969. Though he was accused of shooting demonstrators and other crimes against protesters, Saadi is not wanted by the International Criminal Court, unlike his elder brother Saif al-Islam. Speaking to the New York Times in July, Saif al-Islam, who had not been seen or heard from since 2014, indicated Libyan politics has not seen the last of the Gaddafi clan. He said he was a free man organizing his political return.
Moving on to West Africa. The Nigerian government on Sunday condemned the forceful takeover of power in Guinea. More on the story by Xinhua.
The Nigerian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esther Sanswan, in a statement issued in Abuja, said the government of Nigeria strongly condemns and rejects any unconstitutional change of government and therefore calls on those behind the coup to restore constitutional order without delay and protect all lives and property. The army putschist in Guinea said that they had captured the country's president Alpha Conde and dissolved the government. The statement reads, "The Nigerian government is saddened by the apparent coup that took place in Guinea on Sunday, as the move was in clear violation of the protocol of the Economic Community of West Africa States on democracy and good governance." The African Union and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres have both condemned the coup in Guinea and called for the release of the country's president.
Stand by for your top roundup. Moving on to all things business and economics. National Rail entity Transnamib is unperturbed by the Leon Schuster sanctioned investigation into its affairs, saying it's committed to implementing its strategic objectives. Our investigative journalist Edward Mumbu filed the story.
This follows the appointment of audit firm Ernst & Young to determine the authenticity of allegation of corruption and mismanagement at Transnamib by the Public Enterprises Minister Jooste in August. Abigail Rubenheimer, Transnamib's corporate communications manager, told NAMPA recently that, as a company, Transnamib's focus is on implementing our business plan. We have clear-cut direction on what we need to do, and that is what we as management and staff of Transnamib are focusing on. The investigation is set to end on 31st October 2021. EY will investigate alleged transgressions against Transnamib management as well as allegations of misrepresentation of financial performance and actual progress made around the integrated strategic business plan implementation. The audit firm is additionally expected to conduct an investigation of procurement practices for 2020-2021 against the approved procurement plan with specific reference to the leasing of locomotives from third-party suppliers and customers. The relationship between Namibia Rail Construction and D&M Rail Construction will also be scrutinized. The minister is also perplexed by how Transnamib staff complement ballooned from 900 employees in 2017 to the current 1,400. Rubenheimer dismissed this, saying, "The report that Transnamib in 2017 had 900 employees is incorrect and false. For the past 15 years, Transnamib's workforce has no total less than 1,300.
The Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources will maintain the status quo of joint venture formations within the fishing industry and rather address all challenges emanating according to the law.
This was one of the outcomes from the past week's retreat held by the ministry at Swakopmund as a result of disputes regarding shareholders' requests to uncouple companies from grouped right-holding joint ventures due to low catches of horse mackerel species generally. According to Deputy Minister Sylvia Magon, fishing right holders and the public should appreciate that the idea of grouping companies in joint ventures was for the overall benefit of the right holders. Additionally, Discussions regarding the 200 meters ISO berth, trolling and long line restrictions currently in place in the industry resolved that this will remain in force in order to protect horse mackerel and hake juveniles, as well as spawning grounds for a number of commercially exploited species for their sustainability. Magona explained that these measures, in conjunction with other complementary measures, are the greatest arsenal in the protection of ecologically and biologically significant areas such as corals and the bottom habitats that play key roles in inhabiting and shaping biological communities. The retreat is but one of the series of discussions the ministry intends to conduct within the foreseeable future.
Join us after the break.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. See, James has always watched football wherever he can. Sometimes it got awkward. It was never really comfortable. And finding a good place to watch became more and more difficult, not to mention costly. Traveling for his games took its toll on James until he discovered something big. Now that James has GoTV, he can finally enjoy the perks of home ground advantage. Good for you, James. Get home ground advantage with GoTV. With superstar players competing in the world's biggest leagues and cup competitions, you'll be spoiled for football choice. So get and stay connected to GoTV for the best football season yet. GoTV. Love it.
It's time for the weather forecast, followed by the sports update with my colleague Selima Shimwefeleni.
Good evening and welcome to Sport Planet. I'm Selima Shimwefeleni. We kick off with netball news, where the Tigers Netball Club suffered their first defeat of the inaugural Tamba Namibia Netball Premier League when they went down to Mighty Gunners Netball Club by 37-28 at the Trusco Netball Courts in Windhoek on Sunday. Marco Ndlovu, our sports journalist, covered the event.
It was their first defeat in 8 games played so far, following the resumption of contact sports in the middle of August. On Saturday at Trusco Netball Courts, the log leaders had dispatched Dollar Stars by a huge 71-13 scoreline to assert their dominance. Despite Sunday's defeat, the Shandumbala-based outfit is still on top of the log with 14 points from 7 victories. Other results on Saturday saw Rebels beat United 12 by 42-22, while 11 Arrows made light work of Rundu Chiefs, beating them 59-29 in a one-sided affair. Grootfontein won a thriller against Golden Girls 36-31, while Mighty Gunners thrashed Young Stars 73-20. Namibian Navy and Namibia Correctional Services played out to an exciting 53-all draw to conclude the day at the same venue. On Sunday, Namibian Navy accounted for Rebels' 57-40 loss, while Dollar Stars lost to Golden Girls by 50-40 points. Namibia Correctional Services continued with their good form by beating a hapless Rundu Chiefs team 82-25, while 11 Arrows beat Grootfontein 40-32.
Moving on to football, Mozambique-based Brave Warriors striker Elmo Kambindu provided the goods for Namibia in spectacular fashion as Namibia beat Togo 1-0 in Lome on Sunday evening. The Brave Warriors were playing their second match of the 2022 FIFA World Cup Group H meeting. Marco Ndlovu once again compiled this report.
The gangling former Mighty Gunners striker capitalized on poor defense organization by the Togolese to score with an overhead kick after Charles Sambira had flicked on a Dion Hotto free kick in the 54th minute. Namibia started off well, pinning Togo in their own half, but were very wasteful in front of goal, with several chances going begging. Togo upped the tempo in a bid to find the equalizer, but found the Namibia defense solid and in the match 1-0 in favor of the Brave Warriors. It was Togo's second successive defeat in the qualifiers after they lost 2-0 to Senegal on Wednesday, while for Namibia, the victory puts them temporarily on top of the group. Previous group leaders Senegal are due to face the Republic of Congo in Brazzaville today. In October, the Brave Warriors will face Senegal home and away before visiting Congo and then concluding their campaign at home to Togo. Only the top team in each group advances to the final knockout stage for a place at the World Cup in Qatar. The final knockout round featuring the 10 pool winners will be played over home and away legs in March 2022, where the 5 winners will appear at the Global Showpiece Finals to be staged from 18 November to 21st December 2022.
Your sports roundup is up next.
Welcome wherever you are on Planet Football.
You can go anywhere in the world, but nobody feels football like we do.
And they dare to sing.
It's a rhythm.
1-2.
1-2. Football.
La football.
Soccer. 1-2.
That moves us.
Salah to settle in. There's no feeling like that feeling.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
Nothing compares to DSTV's unbeatable football offering, so stay connected to watch the best football on the planet.
And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's bulletin. We thank you for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and click on the notifications bell to stay up to date with the latest happenings locally and globally. Do add your comments as well in the comments section. From myself, Salima Shimwe-Feleni, and the entire production crew behind the scenes, it's good night.